Hello, everyone. I'm so excited. It is Wednesday. It's What's Up Wednesday with the Inquisitive Farm Wife and my guest, Lisa from Yogi Hollow Farm. I'm so excited to each and every one of you that are either in the chat or will be joining us soon. Maybe you're listening on Rumble, you're on my channel, you're on Lisa's channel, or you're watching the replay. We are so excited to have you here because we're looking forward to a great evening this evening. So I wanted to make sure to get that out. Yes. Lisa, I'm just so excited that you took the time. I know this was a hard time for you. It's chore time. And I appreciate you getting that done a little bit early so that you could come join us.
No problem. Thank you for having me.
Yeah, I'm so excited.
By the way, my pigs wanted to thank you.
Oh?
Because they got to eat earlier.
Oh, they didn't mind that one tiny bit.
They did not. They did not. They were kind of like standing in the pasture like, is this for real or is this a test?
That's hilarious. That's hilarious.
But yeah, no problem at all, Angela. Thanks for the invitation. Appreciate you having me.
So, those of you that are here, if you don't mind to take a second, make sure you give me a thumbs up. Make sure if you're on Lisa's channel that you give her a thumbs up. I see we've got people coming from both channels. We've got Xander sitting on both of them, giving us both the love. So that's awesome. And if you can and you have a second, go ahead and share it out maybe on your community tab. We want to get lots and lots of people in here because I know Lisa and I are going to be chitty chatters and there's going to be lots of things that we can visit about and nobody's going to want to miss out on that conversation. But thank you, Xander, for coming in. I think you were the first person today this week. And we've got Rebecca Suburban Hillbilly. We've got Ginger over from Not For Nothing Homestead. She's popping over from Derek, showing us the love. I didn't make it to Derek's today. I barely made it to this one. I tell you what, I hopped off the tractor and I said, I'm sorry, I gotta go. Lisa's waiting on me. And by golly, she beat me.
I want to apologize to Lisa Colovi because she's my moderator. And so Angela just told me about how I could stream this to my channel also. So Lisa, please don't worry about moderating. I just wanted to let you know that. That's why it went up last minute. So thank you.
Usually thanks, everyone, I'm really lucky and I don't have too many trolls. I've only had a couple incidences where we've had to put people in timeout. So usually Wednesday nights stay pretty calm. So we've got Mud Mascara. We've got Jamie's Country Living. Hello, Lisa. Hello, Rena. Hello. Let's see. Did I say Jamie already? Broke Cowgirls in from your channel. Welcome. Hello. There's Yogi Hollow Farm here. Wendy Benjamin from Nova Scotia. That's awesome. Welcome. I'm so excited. And Canadian Family Life.
Yeah. We don't, I'm modding my chat from my phone. I don't want Lisa to do anything about it. Thanks. But yes, Norman needs a helmet. Norman needs a snack.
Oh, that's hilarious. Oh, funny. Well, yeah, we're just kind of decompressing. She got her chores done real quick and I flew in from the field and the elevator closes in 30 minutes and I was like, oh, am I going to get in trouble for leaving the tractor? It's our first day to actually get in the field and harvest. And he told me to have a good life. So he must have realized he wasn't going to make it to the elevator in time anyway with me being there. So that was super sweet. So we can have a great visit. And I have so many questions for you. And I hope that people will add stuff in the chat too, so we can have a great visit here. I have to really focus. If I get in the chat too much, I lose sidetrack of what I'm doing. So Lisa, tell me a little bit about, we're going to talk about your YouTube journey. So what made you decide to go ahead and pull the trigger and have a channel?
Well, it goes back a little further than that. Can I say that part too?
Oh, absolutely. Yes. I want to know the whole history.
We moved to South Dakota. My husband moved out in 2019, about March. And I told him while I was in North Carolina, I'm staying here a year before I move out because he came for work. I got tired of it and said, okay, we're moving out. So when we closed on our house out here, because he was commuting and I was commuting back and forth, and so long story short, we closed on the house in first few days of January in 2020. Then everything changed, and one of the things we laughed about was we had said we wanted all the buildings off of the property, and then we let that go and said, keep them. Good thing we did. So here we are, right? The world changed. I got nervous. I got really scared about food shortages. And we started with chickens. And so blah, 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 progressed from there. The reason why I wanted to start a YouTube channel is I was watching all these homesteaders on YouTube. And I was like, I'm sure there's somebody out there who's just like us and wants to know how they screw up, how they do this, how they do that. Just maybe somebody wants to follow our journey. And that's where it started.
That's awesome. I love it. So you were like, I'm just going to be full disclosure here and share with the world what it's like from someone starting out fresh and what we're going to do. And maybe, share that journey and encourage someone else along the way. I love it.
Yeah. And of course, keep in mind, we only have 2 acres. That's it. So
there's a lot that can be done on even just, like 1 acre. It's amazing what a small amount of land can do, whether you're talking plants, animals, whatever.
Yeah. And so what a lot of people don't realize as they've subscribed to us now, hey, Dawn, hey, everybody. So, what a lot of people don't realize is they've subscribed to us now, because we were so tiny when we first started, is that we started with a chicken coop that we had to remodel. I did a short on it. All the buildings were gross. They were disgusting and needed to be redone. They needed some love and care. And the other part about it is that we very much moved quickly from having a dozen chickens in May to the following January. We had 2 meat pigs. We got Sherman. We got the girls. We got Grant. And it just, it spiraled from there. And so that was really cool.
Yeah. So you jumped in and you did things pretty fast, because a lot of people will have chickens, years before they get anything else. I mean, I thought I was fast by having chickens a few years and then getting a goat and having those a few years and then getting a cow. But girl, you just jumped in. But why not? I mean, you have your family support. You've got your husband doing it with you. And so you've got the hands there. You might as well do it.
Yeah. And Suburban Hillbilly, I totally agree with you. It's just, we wanted to be us. So like what you see is what you get. I probably have a piece of hay stuck in the back of my hair. I haven't showered today. Because I was home and I was doing stuff and I did chores and that's it. So what you see is what you get.
Yeah. I love it. I think that's why I'm attracted to you so much, because I'm just the same way too. I'm just like, in my kitchen and stuff, there might be messes or in the corner or something, or because I'm multitasking and it's like, well, it's a lived in house and I'm going to have, scratches on the paint and whatever. It's just what it is. Right.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah. I don't wear makeup and yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's funny, on Instagram, there's a hashtag and it's called Barn Chore Couture, where we all kind of joke about what we wear when we do chores. And it's like, I've posted a bunch of things and some other folks, and yep, I get what you're saying. And it's funny because I do my chores in my pajamas. I roll out of bed. The first thing I do is feed animals. I don't do anything else. And I know everybody thinks that's crazy, but that's what I do, because once they're fed, I can sit and relax and have my coffee.
You know what? The days that I'm most productive and I have the best day are the days that I go out and milk or whatever first, do at least one outside thing first, get a little fresh air in my system, and then come in and have my coffee. Now, I don't know about you, but I personally have to move my schedule with the times of year and whatever's going on the farm. So like right now I'm not milking any cows. And so it's a different phase for me. So I don't usually go out and do chores till later because the goats do fine waiting till sometimes noon. So I've been working on a lot of computer stuff in the mornings while it's, still dewy and stuff outside. And then I let that dry and then I go out and do chores. But come wintertime, you'll see me, I'll do it later just because the sun's not up or
Oh,
it's really
agreed.
cold. It changes with whatever's going on in your world.
Absolutely. I won't go out if it's dark, and that's because this is my weird reasoning. Part of it is because I'm a night owl. But the other part of it is I always worry what's been lurking all night is still out. Because when you see things, they're, running through the driveway at 4:35 in the morning.
Yeah.
But at night I don't have that problem if I go out, say at 9:00 and put chickens up. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm kind of the same way.
Yeah, because I know on our game cameras, you see, they're always later in the evening, so to speak, or earlier in the morning, I should say. But yeah, when it's cold out, we're going out a lot. We're feeding 3 and 4 times a day to keep the pigs warm.
See, now I don't have pigs, so I don't know a lot about keeping pigs. Now, years ago when I was a little kid, I remember my dad having them, but I wasn't really that involved in it. I was too small to be around them,
Mm-hmm.
But I'm clueless as to all that kind of stuff. But when it comes to some of the other animals, I've kind of got a system. We all figure out what to do. But like in the winter, if you don't have heaters in the tanks, you have to go break ice. Or in the summer, if it's too hot, you want to make ice and put in the tubs.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's crazy.
Yeah, true. I think that, I'm not one of these folks who's like, for lack of a better term, afraid of the dark and afraid of the critters. I just think it's smart not to do that, to go out that time. But I will say, we often have coyotes howling pretty close by. And, I think it was last year when I was sitting waiting for Fiona to farrow. I was out there by myself, bundled up, sitting there. It's July. I had a sweatshirt on. That's what I meant by bundled up. But, I'm just sitting there and it's like, I'm listening to everything and I'm like, oh, the last thing I need is a predator coming now.
Yeah. Well, you worry because they will, though. If you weren't
Mhm.
there, they could come in because they smell that happening and they'll kill and run off with babies. And yeah,
Yep.
it's a
Yep.
scary thing. And that's why, not to get gross, but that's why sometimes, I'm going to try to say this nicely for some of the people in the crowd that may not have interest in these things. The mothers will take care of everything after they have babies in most animals. I mean, whether it's a cat or a horse or whatever, they kind of clean things up because it will attract those wild animals when you're weak. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
River Rat, I just put in the message to get the Run Chicken Door. I love the Run Chicken Door. I won one on an Instagram giveaway.
Exciting.
And because I wouldn't have bought it, just being real. But I tell you, it was great.
So we've got several people over from Lisa's channel. I'm going to try to just randomly pop up comments and stuff so that you guys can see it. I've had a few people ask when I do these lives, her channel will only be able to see the comments on her channel. They won't be able to see the comments that are on my channel. Just like if you're watching from Rumble, you will only be able to see Rumble comments or whatever. And so I just wanted to say that I'm going to try to pop things up, but I'm not always the best about it. So if I miss something, just state it again and we'll get to it.
Yeah, and likewise for me, because I'm sitting here with my phone with the chat rolling, but I do see the comments here. So
yeah,
if I miss something, scream at me.
Tell me, how did you get the name Yogi Hollow Farm?
Oh, okay. So I grew up in New York City, never was a dog person because I grew up around some really nasty, mean dogs. And, junkyard dogs and people using them for protection, all that kind of thing. So when I met my husband and we ended up I don't know how it was. I saw these two English bulldogs in a pet store. Don't yell at me for pet store. I didn't buy one. Don't worry. But I saw them, and you're going to laugh at me, but like they smelled of urine. It was vile, like
Mm-hmm.
disgusting. And my husband was in his head laughing because the lady said, "Well, why don't you hold them? Because if you don't, no one will."
Oh,
Total guilt trip to try to get me to buy these $3,500 a piece bulldogs.
oh my, no.
So, from there, I decided I wanted to try a dog. And so I went on, a friend of mine said, you never know where you're going to find love. So I went on the rescue sites. I can't remember the name of it again. Bye, Suburban Hillbilly. Take care of
Oh,
yourself. I'm sorry, sweetie. So I found an old English bulldog, not old as in old dog, but it's an old OLDE English bulldog. And his name was Yogi.
okay.
And so we have had Yogi. We had him from 2009 until the June before I moved to South Dakota. He passed away. He was an old man. And so we wanted to honor his legacy, and that's what we did.
I love it. And here this
So,
whole time I thought it had something to do with Yogi Bear.
no,
Yeah.
Yogi was a dog that went through the good times and the bad and forever changed our lives.
Oh.
And so
Well,
now
he
we have
had,
Diesel, who's an old English bulldog. Also, both of them were purebred, and they were owner surrenders. So Diesel is a little different than Yogi was because he could care less about me. He's all about my husband, whereas
oh,
Yogi was all about me.
oh. Now, do you have any LGDs?
No,
I didn't think so.
I
I
worry about them. I have to be honest. I know they're made for it, but I worry about them.
oh.
I do. It's cold for my animals out there, let alone a dog.
You would be surprised though. I mean,
I
I
know.
know you've heard it all. I have two that are outside full time. And when it's really bad, like if we have an ice storm or something like that, I'll let them in, but they're wanting out the door within 30 minutes to get back out. And the first snow, it cracks me up. They roll in it and they love it and it feels so good because they're so hot. It's
Yeah.
almost worse for them in the summer
Yeah.
than it is in the winter, which, we look at them and we're like, oh, but they always want back out after a while. But
Yeah, no, I'm not. I totally agree with that. I'm not against it. I just
it's
don't
just
have the
hard.
need for it.
Yeah.
I don't feel I have the need for it. Knock on wood. I don't have goats. Everybody's locked up at night. Even the pigs, they're in their house at night. Hey, cat. And so, yeah, so it works out. I mean, I've thought about it, but it's funny. My neighbor has an outdoor cat, and that cat services both properties and has a cat has a heated doghouse to
Oh
sleep in,
my.
a
How fun.
heated water bowl. I mean, it's funny. It's just
Yeah.
amazing.
Very spoiled. Well, my LGDs that I have, I don't know if one would be considered an LGD or not because he's only half. He's Great Pyrenees, and he's got Saint Bernard as the other half. So I don't really know that he is, but he kind of does the things because the other dog. Both of mine were rescues. A lot of my animals, even livestock, some of them have been rescues and some of them weren't. But they kind of came here before the animals did, ironically. They were just those I had we live in the city and the dog got bigger than I thought, I had that one. I've had we were buying a house in the country, the loan fell through, he needs a place to run. And so I'm always like, okay. We've gotten a rabbit that way. We've gotten so many animals that way where, my kids were in 4-H at the time. And so ironically enough, we had the LGDs before we had a purpose for them other than just to be on the farm.
That's cool,
So,
though.
yeah. Yeah.
That's cool.
Thanks for the reminder, Brampton Gardner. Yes, everyone on both channels, go ahead and hit those thumbs up if you haven't already. I
Yeah.
know. A broke cowgirl. Mine used to, but Bear doesn't do it anymore. I used to put out a baby pool for him to lay in. So he, just have some nice cool water.
Yeah.
But he kind of quit doing that. He's getting older. So yeah. So we've talked about, your why, and we talked about your name. We didn't really talk about your win other than you said in 2019 you were moving. So is that when you started your channel was 2019?
No, 2020 was when we moved to, that's when I moved to South Dakota and we were living in the house. And by May of 2020, we had the chickens. So I would say it was probably November, end of October, November of that year.
Okay.
And all I had was chickens.
Yeah.
That's it. 12 chickens.
So everyone pretty much grew with you then.
Yeah. Hey, Tony. Hey, everybody. Yeah. And somebody asked what an LGD is, and that's a livestock
saw that one. Yes,
guardian dog. They're the dogs that stay out and protect the animals.
And they can come in different breeds. I only know of a couple, but I know there's lots more out there. We have Great Pyrenees, and then now it's lost.
Angolian shepherds.
Yes, thank you. Our neighbors have those too. But my friend has looked into a couple other breeds too that I'm not familiar with. But yeah.
Yeah, I think I would, if I did any, it would be a shorter hair versus the longer hair.
My
know that
Pyrenees does get matted. He has
Yeah.
troubles with that. Yeah, if
Yeah,
I don't
that's a
get him
lot.
brushed out, he gets matted pretty bad.
Yeah, we have a lot of pine needles and stuff and pine cones, so it would just be, oh, the poor dog would be uncomfortable laying on that stuff.
Yeah. It absolutely does help. They say to never actually shave them, that just to either brush or blow them out. That some of that hair, the undercoat comes back every year, but the overcoat doesn't. But I mean, it does to an extent because my poor bear has had surgery a few times. And so it does come back to an extent,
Yeah.
So, because it's been shaved for that. So I don't know.
I think it's more the not shaving it because it serves a function.
Yeah.
Versus that it won't come back is my understanding. I don't have one, but that's what I've read about.
That's good to know because I'm like, it did come back because I remember someone saying, oh, it won't come back. But I mean, it does. But I think you've hit the nail on the head right there. A Kangal Anatolian. Okay, see, there's a new one. So is that a mix, Lantern Creek, or is that just a breed? Because I know there's some out there that are like totally different areas will get different ones. Like if you're in Alaska, what you would have there would be different than what you'd have here in Kansas.
Yeah, he's a mix.
Okay, cool. That's neat.
Or a pug.
Pugs are adorable. My husband is such a sucker for dogs. Like that's his potato chip right there. He can't stop at just one.
Hey, Tina.
Hi.
My husband, like I said, Diesel is his person through and through. And it's funny because I'm like, I just want Norman to come in the house. Diesel just will not allow it. He got progressively worse. So we can't bring him in the house, but Norman's out with Grant right now.
Oh. So tell us a little bit about the animals you have on your farm.
So
you've had a big change recently.
Yeah, we did. I won't go too far into that because it probably still will bug me and get me teary-eyed, but I'm doing better with it. Huh?
We don't want that. We don't.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we started with Sherman. And so Sherman was going to be my pet Cooney pig, right? He was a boar, but I got a good deal on him. He wasn't registered. I got him as a piglet. He grew up being handled so much that he was just a sweetheart. So we started with Sherman, and then we ended up getting Eleanor, and then we got Fiona. We got 2 of them at the same time. That was a whole story, mainly because the one that was supposed to be Eleanor was too small. So I ended up taking 2. And so we have Eleanor and Fiona. Then I got a hold of Grant, who came from a friend over here, who actually was the lady who introduced me to the breed in person and opened up her farm to let us spend hours there talking about it.
Wow.
Didn't even know us. So I took Grant because I felt obligated. It was her first litter. And we were talking about it. She didn't push him at all. And I said, oh, I want to take him. I'm really glad I did. He's a really good boar. So Sherman recently left. And, you know, you talk about people giving you animals. We've had offers for registered boars, and I couldn't take a 3rd boar on. So Sherman had to leave. And so Sherman is at another farm, and he will live his life there. We rehomed him to a wonderful, wonderful place, and they love him and send me pics. And so basically we were using Sherman and Grant to breed. And then we have, I don't know, 40 plus chickens. We've lost some lately. We had turkeys. We recently rehomed them because we just don't eat enough turkey. It just
So
didn't
were they
seem...
meat birds or heritage or?
They're heritage breed bourbon reds, and we've had them since 2021. And we just decided we were hatching them and selling them. We were raising meat birds. We just decided that's a lot to take care of all year long. And we didn't even raise meat from them this year. So we rehomed them to the same place as Sherman.
Oh, nice.
So basically what we're down to right now is Norman, who is Sherman and Fiona's son from last year. He's a barrow. We have Grant, who's a boar. We have the girls, which is Eleanor and Fiona. And we have Hank and Waylon, which are 2 piglets, which are meat pigs. They are meat pigs, so they will not stay long. Be prepared for that. And but you can see their antics now, which are fun. And then we have the chickens. And then we're going to try and look into a more sustainable meat chicken, because we eat a lot of chicken. So we try to bulk up in the summer, have a ton of animals. This year we took a lighter load. We didn't raise pheasants. And then we try to scale back down to the bare minimum in wintertime, like most people do.
So smart. I don't seem to do that. It seems like when fall hits and people are wanting to get rid of the animals, I'm like, bring them to me.
Yeah.
And then I have so many more chores in the winter. So when you shared your story, I was just like, so smart. So I took 6 goats to the market. I got the price I would normally get 1 goat for. So I'm like,
geez.
well, that backfired. But
you know,
you don't have to feed those 6 goats this winter.
And absolutely.
Are so horrible this year for me. They were just, bad. To get good hay, because last year I got burned, unfortunately.
Yeah, and I think livestock. Well, I'm going to speak about the pig market. I don't know anything about the goat market, but pig market was very challenging this year selling piglets. I had 14. I had 2 people take 6 each. So, that doesn't come along every day.
No.
The person who took Sherman and the turkeys, that's how we met her. She took 6 piglets.
Wow.
The other one was someone who had 3 from last year that are ready to go to the processor, and they took 6 more.
Awesome.
So we're going to have to get a little...
You have good quality, though, then, to be able to sell that many. Because I know personally, I would take a chance on like 1 or 2. So, yeah.
There was a lot of wheeling and dealing, and we didn't get what we got last year.
Oh, yeah.
So but you know what? All of it goes, we're not making a business out of it, right? It's anything just goes back into feeding the animals, and that's the goal.
So, I think you kind of touched base on this. Do you have any plans for next year of adding anything new to the farm, whether it be animals or not? Like a structure? Because I know you were talking about that you were having flooding issues this year.
So we were in a drought from 2019 until earlier in this year, and we had no rain. And so we put the farrowing barn right by in a spot. I apologize, my dog is barking. We put the farrowing barn in a bad spot. And so this year it just water was running down there. And so we did everything we could to basically avoid it getting flooded so the piglets were healthy. So what we ended up doing was removing it because next year we'll put it in a different spot. He is a bad dog. He does want attention. I know. He's doing that because my husband walked outside. Yeah, Ark, no, I'm not raising camels. Trust me. I do know, and I know this is not popular opinion. I'm going to try and move this over. Wow, you guys can hear plugged in. I apologize for that.
There we go.
Well then. There's my embarrassing moment. See, I told you I'm real. So anyway, we do want to add a lamb or maybe a couple of lambs, but keep in mind they will have a purpose. They will not be cute little lambs for the heck of it. So I don't know. We're really trying to stick with the model of having more animals in the summer and scaling down for the winter.
I love that concept. I really am taking note from you having done that. I scaled up a year ago and got another dairy cow, and because my friend and mentor was selling out. Long story short, her daughter was the big milk drinker, and ever since she got COVID, she couldn't drink milk anymore. They held on to this calf, their last calf, hoping that would eventually go away. And they had got into it because the mother, my friend, could only drink A2 raw milk and not have tummy troubles. And they just kind of learned to live without the milk after a while. And so they said they just get milk from me. And, if they ever want a cow back, they know where to come. But I got her and she gave me, I AI'd her the day I brought her home. She was in heat. It was so hilarious. And so we did to a beef cow. She had a bull, but she's not giving me milk. And I'm like, so here I bought this milk cow expecting she's a full-size Jersey to get lots of milk, and I'm not getting it. And so I'm like, that's so hard when you do that, when you're planning on that, because I sell the milk to help pay for that feed,
Right.
And so, thankfully I have 2 more in the lineup to do milk. But is that an animal you've ever thought of having as any sort of milking animal, or are you guys big milk drinkers there?
We're not. Yeah. I've toyed with getting a goat to milk. I don't want all that it entails. I just want to be able to milk her.
Yeah.
I don't want to be breeding. I don't want to all that. And we've talked about it, and it's not something that I want. If I could have 100 pigs, I'd have 100 pigs.
They're just your animal.
They are my animal.
Yep.
I like them even more than chickens and turkeys. Turkeys are great. They're sweet. But pigs are my animal. But I wanted to go back to something. I think it was somebody said in the chat, and we were talking about, I think for us, the biggest thing is that, that's awesome. Yay. Congrats. Good deal, Red. For us, the problem is winter. Winter is, what people don't realize is winter is super expensive, right? Tons and tons of bedding, tons and tons of feed for us, tons of water resources, having an electric bill because I have they're not a ton, but I have a ton of water heaters. Everybody has water heaters, tank heaters, heated watering and systems, all that stuff. We go through a ton, and it's a lot. It's a lot. And last year, I think it was minus 47 for us with a wind chill. My friend was about an hour and a half north, and she was minus 60. And there was no sleep. We were worried about animals because for the first time ever, we had frostbite. No matter what we did, we had frostbite. We had rugs on the barns. I was feeding 4 times a day to keep internal energy. They were losing weight.
Now, is this with the pigs?
And it's just,
I've had it with the chickens, but yeah.
The chickens, there's always one storm a year that the chickens get frostbite no matter what we do.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter what we do. And that's because they tuck their heads underneath their wings and create condensation. So it has nothing to do with us.
Yep.
The same thing with the rooster. The rooster doesn't tuck his head. So he lost part of his comb and his wattles. They
always look worse. Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I mean, but to me, it really hit home because the pigs got affected. And everybody laughs about Norman coming in. Norman came in out of necessity. Norman would have been dead. He was under 50 pounds. We had planned to keep several of his siblings, but they died. So we had issues, and we had one pig by himself that we were raising for meat, but we ended up, everybody thinks, oh, you brought him in the house. Yeah, it was fun bringing him in the house, but he wasn't with us in the house all the time. The videos you saw were just of like 10 minutes here, 10 minutes there.
Yeah.
He was in a wood room that got down to like 5 degrees, but it didn't get to the negative 40, whatever.
Right.
You know what I mean? And it was to keep him warm. The only time I brought him in every time was because he would stand out in the snow and shiver. It's the first sign of it.
Yeah.
So it's crazy. It's crazy.
I think many of us farmers it's just commonplace to have animals in the house. I've had a duck living in a bathtub for a while. One time when it got ill, I was giving it shots every day. And so I've had a chicken in the office. I've had a goat giving birth in my bathroom. I mean, it was in the middle of a snowstorm, and I saw that she was a first timer in labor, and I got my son and we carried her up to the house and brought her in to deliver because I knew that baby would freeze to death. I mean, you just do what you got to do. But I had to touch base on this. Never tried sheep milk and have no plans to. So I guess they were maybe wondering if you might milk your sheep that you're going to get. So I've never drank sheep's milk, but there is a local area, well, somewhat local, next state over, that sells sheep's milk products, and they have some pretty awesome cheese. So it's, there are actually sheep breeds out there that you can milk, but typically sheep don't have enough milk sometimes even for their own babies. And so I actually got the goats that I have now, many of them from a friend who raises goats just for the milk because her sheep, she has a sheep business. And so she has a few goats to keep the milk for the babies, if that makes sense.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. And Tony said, he couldn't bring Sig in the house. No, you couldn't bring Sig in the house, but you wouldn't have to because he's big enough. That was the thing. Norman was little. And by the way, he went in a room in the back that is not insulated. It wasn't even the house. It's just, I had to walk him through. I walked him through the house to get to it, but it's literally a place that somebody built to store wood in.
Mm-hmm.
So
it kept him alive, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
That's what you do.
Yep.
Oh my, winter in the South for us is not crazy feed expensive. Sometimes we don't even have to hay your cows during the winter. Shut up.
Yeah. I hay all year round usually.
50 bales for my cows. So Yeah, I have to feed hay year round around here because if we're not getting snow, we're getting drought, And so, yeah.
Yeah, that's the thing. We've fed hay year round to the pigs, and that was because of the fact that, by July everything's dead with a drought, right? And so this year, this is the only time we have not had to do it. In fact, I called to get winter hay, and their telescopic whatever equipment is not, or handler is not working, so I have to go call next week.
Well, I'm sure I'm missing some comments, but Leanne was saying she can imagine what the pioneers did back in the old days before electric. Well, I can imagine. I just don't want to.
I'd be pioneering in Florida
There you go. That's hilarious.
in the winter, and then, or no, I shouldn't say that, or somewhere warm and low humidity, and then I would be back up in South Dakota.
Oh, very cool. There are large sheep dairies in other areas of the countries. That is cool. Very interesting to know.
Alfalfa, Leanne?
Do what?
She said, "Hey, for sale. You got my number."
Oh, I know. It's a little bit of a travel. Thankfully around here I can get farmers to deliver to me because our hay trailer that we bought was not it was not what we thought it was. And so usually my neighbor, I would get hay from my neighbor, but they don't have extra anymore.
Right.
And so, I had to search elsewhere, and I got from someone who I trusted, and I got burned last year. And I think that's why we don't have milk this year. I'm thinking I've had that happen one other time.
Wow.
I forget what it's called. Something hoof something. Someone will know. Someone in the chat will probably tell me. But anyway, it could be from getting too much of the wrong kind of grass.
Yeah. Yep.
So
yeah, I have to get alfalfa for the pigs, and last year I could not get alfalfa in the spring, and so I had to get prairie grass mix. They loved it. They ate it. It didn't seem to bother them. However, clearly they waste more. In River Rat, we've had the wood pellets, I think, since 2020. So that's a normal year delivery for us. But yeah, that's I posted a short because we just got our four pallets, which are 2,400 pounds a piece, for our heating season, wood pellets.
Hey, Xander has a point. Midnight Farmhouse, they brought their animals inside. It's one reason they had to root cellars. You brought your animals into the root cellars and helped heat your house too. So that is true. Oops. That is true. And that friend that I was telling you about that has goats for the milk for their sheep, she actually has in her old basement set up where she can have birthing stalls under their house. It's really cool.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah. Hey, Derek. Thanks for sending everybody over. I didn't realize you had a live tonight, but I wouldn't have been able to make it anyway. I was in the tractor. But if you all don't know, Derek has a live many times before me. Hoof rot. No, it's not that. It's it's gone. It's gone. I'll think of it later. It doesn't even sound like anything that would like what it would be, but anyway.
What is it? Can you describe it again?
Well, it can cause all kinds of problems, but for me in the past, it has caused the milk supply to go down. So the calf, she's able to make enough for the calf, thankfully. And I had that happen on my second year of owning my first dairy cow. And, sometimes God has a plan, and I was needed elsewhere that year. And so this year I'm not too worked up about it because the vet, I have a great relationship with my vet. Everybody's healthy. Everybody's doing great. She's just not a big producer. And I have a feeling that it could have been because of the quality of hay that I had to give the last couple months in pregnancy until this year's hay came in. And so, no, not mastitis. Oh my gosh. Why can't I think of that? It's from fescue foot. That's what they call it. Fescue foot. But it's not, has nothing to do with their feet. Oh, I think it can. I think if they get enough of it, it can cause other health issues. But thankfully, I've only had that as an issue. And I don't even know that that's what she has. I know I dealt with that a few years ago.
Wow.
We've gone way off here.
That's okay.
Topic. And we only have about 15 minutes left. And I know there was a couple of things I wanted to let you talk to everyone about. So currently right now you are co-hosting a collaboration with Mountain Grandma, and I'm making a video. It may not be exactly what you were wanting, but I made a video, and
Awesome.
mine will actually come out tomorrow. So I hope everyone will go watch that. And it's a soap making collaboration. So can you tell everyone a little bit about that?
Yes. So we are doing hashtag Soaping September, and that is hosted by Mountain Grandma and myself. And we just did an open collab. And so you have to understand, part of this is all Mountain Grandma's idea. I got to give her credit. And we do a live every Tuesday, and it's goal setting, and we try to encourage people to do things, because the number one reason why people don't do things is they get stuck in the, let me buy the equipment, let me watch the videos, let me do this, let me do that. They never do it. Why? Because they're afraid something will go wrong. It's okay. I've made soap 3 times. And then I realized I bought the wrong lye, because, it was like being in the supermarket. I went to buy a can of whole or cut green beans, and I ended up with julienne green beans instead when I got home. Something dumb like that, right? Well, I was on my Amazon, got down my rabbit hole, saw a cheaper deal, and bought the wrong lye. Didn't even know it. So I think that's the reasoning behind all of that, is because we want to push people to just do it. It's okay to screw up. And so I did an equipment one today just on the stuff that I have, and I'm hoping to get a cold process out by the end of the week. And so it's going through September 30th. And then, and that's open. Anybody can join. We just want to encourage people to do it, make it simple, so that way you encourage somebody else to do it. You know what I mean? The other thing is we're also going to be doing a sourdough collab for the month of October. And I did send out invites to a bunch of people on that, but it's also an open collab. Anybody can join. There's no hashtag. Again, sourdough is not intimidating. People make it sound intimidating. What's the worst that can happen? It doesn't rise. That's okay. So that's really why we're doing these kinds of collabs. We don't want to do all fancy and stuff. We just want to have somebody jump up and say, well, you know what? Mountain Grandma and Lisa are pushing me with this, so let's see if we can do it. In fact, there's somebody in the chat, I'm not going to name names, who I emailed and reached out to me and said, I have no idea what to do. And I'm like, I'll walk you through it. Just tell people you don't know what you're doing. You never did it before. That's going to encourage somebody to do it. So that's our goals.
I'm going to try to keep up with the chat here. Grace and Fire said they've been making soap for years. So, hey, if you have a soap video, put it out there. Tag her in it, and she'll add you to the playlist. What did I miss from Derek Fowler? Oh, something on his tablet. Probably something from his live. Yes, Suburban Hillbilly. It can cause gangrene in hooves and legs. And thankfully, I've never had that problem. So I don't know if maybe that is fully what I went on, or if I caught it luckily. But that's what the vet thought it could have been. But this was several years ago when it happened. Very, very interesting to me, because they're only getting a half gallon a day from a Jersey, and that is not normal, because that's what I have. I have a miniature Jersey, and I have a mini Jersey, or a mini and a mid-size Jersey. And then this girl was a full size, and my mid and minis easily give me a couple gallons at a milking. And so for her to not give hardly anything, I mean, I was getting like a pint maybe. And I was so worried about it that I even went to him and I got a shot to get a letdown. It's just a natural hormone that you can give them. And he says, I don't think you're going to get anything. He goes, I think you're wasting your time. And I was like, but I need to know. And he was right. And she's just not producing. So very interesting that someone else is having that issue with the Jersey. So I don't know if it was the quality of hay that was available last year or what, but at least I'm not alone in it.
Yeah.
Uh-oh. What did I miss? Okay.
Yes, and Jamie's Country Living is right. It's any time of soap, dish soap, laundry soap, any kind of soaping September.
Oh yeah, I kind of forgot that it was liquid soap or bar soap or whatever. Yeah. I liked this one. Buying supplies and doing a hobby are two separate hobbies.
Yes, they are.
So true. Because you do think, I'm going to make soap. So I'm going to buy the molds and I'm going to buy this. I'm going to buy that. And then, do you actually follow through?
Yeah.
So,
true story today. I was texting with Gwen and I said, I told her that I found all my soaping stuff because I have this really bad habit of putting things in a closet to clean the house. So I put all my stuff away. And I told her that I had all my soaping stuff in one tote, and then I had all my candles making in another one. And yet I couldn't find my lye or my oil. And then I finally found it. Thank goodness.
So, Life in the Piedmont, didn't she make a soap video?
Yes, she did.
I think she did a melt and pour for us. If I
Yep, an
remember
Arc
right.
Wildman, and
She did it outside.
Milk and Honey Heritage Farms. I've got the playlist on my channel in Mountain Grandmas.
Okay, awesome. So everybody can go there and check that out. Yeah, I remember there was one that was outside. Yeah. Awesome. You should pop one up and bring it back to life and tag them in it to get it on the playlist so people could see it.
Whoop whoop. Yep, found it in the Ottoman Red.
Here we go. I want to try sourdough and can't wait. So I'm excited for that one a lot too, because it is, like you said, winter's expensive, winter's hard. And if you're like me, you don't want to leave the farm. I don't leave the farm very much at all. But when it comes to wintertime, I'm like, I go out, I do my chores, I'm cold, I want to come in, I want to get my hot cocoa or my coffee or whatever it is, to warm myself up. And then, I want to bake or do that kind of stuff. So I'm really excited. And my video very likely will be how to revive that forgotten sourdough, the one that you leave all summer long because you don't want to bake. So hopefully, fingers crossed, I'll be able to jump in on this collaboration too, because I love collaborations.
Yeah. And River Rat, I can anytime, like if you want to start now, let me know. You and I talk, so let me know. I can always help you get started.
Awesome. There you go.
I mean, that's how I learned. Someone on Instagram who makes amazing sourdough, like offered to teach me.
Awesome.
And she taught me through Instagram chat. So
we've got a couple different conversations going on here. I'm trying not to miss out. I'm trying to pop them up there because it's hard when we've got a couple different sources that people are coming from. So Ginger says, I have failed at sourdough 2 times, but dog nabbit, Lisa, I'm going to try it again. Yay! They say 3 times a charm, Ginger. So this is going to be the time that it's going to work.
Good job, Ginger. Ginger, you know how long it took for mine to rise? It took forever. I finally texted Leanne at the Mennonite Farmhouse and was like, did this rise enough? Can I make something now?
That's hilarious. That's awesome. I got really lucky the first time I used mine. It went well. I love watching Joshua Weissman. If anyone's ever watched him, he's got a good one. I'll try to think of the names of some of them and put them out maybe on my community tab or something of people that I watched when I was learning how to start sourdough and stuff and how to shape it. And there's some really neat channels out there that do just sourdough that are pretty
Yeah.
awesome to watch too.
I think the problem is people see the quote unquote perfect side of
Yeah.
people who do it all the time.
Yeah.
And they post that stuff, but it's like that's intimidating to a newbie.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like, what's the worst that can happen? You throw your flour and your water in a jar, and if it does, like, just keep doing it.
Yeah.
Like
If it
mine
does-
took forever in the wintertime because it's too cold in here.
and flour is not terrible expensive. So,
Right.
you know, it's not going to break the bank if you fail. Don't get disheartened.
Right.
So, Derek, I'm right there with you. I don't have very good luck with technology either. Well, I'm excited. Sounds like Ginger might be joining in on that.
Yeah, Ginger, I emailed you.
Brampton says she needs pug molds.
That's awesome.
That would be fun.
I was excited to find those pig molds.
Leanne, absolutely it is. I have an entire closet full. I literally have what used to be a game closet when the kids were small that is packed full of fabric right now. Should I be telling that on public? Should I admit to that?
Being genuine.
Oh my. I have to agree with Glinda. It is a Pandora's box because once you start with the soaps, then you want to do the candles, the air fresheners, and car diffusers. And if you're like me, you want to do the lotions and all the different things. Yep. Yeah, it happens. Bath bombs. Yep.
And Ginger, look, I'm no expert at all. I just made it. And I figured out some things that work. So feel free to email me. I'm happy to help.
That is so awesome that you're willing to do that with people. That's what I love about you. You're just like an everyday Joe, and you're just there to help other people.
Because that's what it's about, right? Because here's the thing: it's not about this. It's not about just sharing the knowledge, right? It's about helping other people, and you have to. There's that community sufficiency that you also have to build, because it's important. So it's like, that's really helpful if I can pass on a skill that I've learned. I don't make all my bread, I'll admit it. But here's the thing. I know the skill. If I had to, I know how to do it. That's why I want to teach somebody, because let's figure it out. So that way, if you do need it, you know how to do it.
Exactly. I'm one of those people where I want to at least learn the skill and say that I can do it or have done it. But I don't get too hard on myself if I don't constantly do it, because I'm like you with the bread. I used to have a bread route where I would go around the Tri-County area and deliver to all the little local towns and cities bread to all these people. And then my family, midway through the week, we'd run out of bread, and I'm like, go to Walmart. Because, I would only bake so many days a week. And then I'm like, that's it. You can only do so much. So
yeah.
I'm laughing about the chocolate body scrub with you. Oh.
And Christine, Mrs. Gilliam, you could put it in the fridge, but no big deal.
I missed that. What are we putting in the fridge? The starter?
The sourdough starter.
Oh, yeah. Mine's down in my downstairs refrigerator. I have 2 in there, actually. I'm going to revive. One that I did myself several years ago, and one that was gifted to me last winter.
Mm-hmm.
And they'll get a little, they call it hooch on it. It's like a black water, and that's totally normal. Don't freak out.
Apparently,
if you leave it for a long time.
Suburban Hillbilly wants me to yell at Ginger.
Oh, what is Ginger up to?
I think because of the sourdough. And yeah, and so speaking of which, Leanne at Mennonite Farmhouse has answered my questions about canning and stuff like that. And it's like she's been able to pass that skill to me, and it's been super helpful.
That's awesome. I think she does a lot of yeasted breads too. I think she's got some videos on yeasted breads too.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah. Sourdough in your pizza oven. Mm-hmm. That sounds great. Okay, I'm just trying to scroll through because we have reached our hour mark. That went really
Okay.
fast. Wow, guys. We've had a great conversation.
I know it. Thanks so much.
Are you seeing any comments of questions that we need to get to before we?
No.
Okay.
Thanks, Leanne.
Guys, thank you so much, everyone, for being here tonight, but most especially to Lisa for popping on. We had a little bit of a confusion on what day she might come, and she made it happen, and I really, really appreciate it. And I know that being a farmer and time is valuable. So I appreciate you giving us that time tonight. And I most especially appreciate each and every one of you in the side chat. We had a great conversation tonight. You kept things going. I really appreciate it. And I don't know that I'll be back next week. We have started harvest, and when we're in corn harvest, I don't, time is tight. And so I'm not sure that I'll be for the next week or two. You may not see me live, but I do have people lined up in October to visit with. So be watching on the community tab. Bye for now, friends.
Thank you, everybody, for coming. Thank you so much for having me, Angela. It was a good time.
It was.